So I'm deep conditioning my hair right now. That's why I got a shower cap on. But I just want to come out here, and this video gonna be like a little personal, because I don't know, this is just on my mind to speak about, and I'm seeing things in my reality that make me feel like I should speak about this. So I used to, well, I'm gonna say this too, right? I used to make like kind of some personal content on this page, but I deleted it and then kind of switched lanes because I just felt like that's not really people's business. I felt like my personal life was nobody's business for real, and I didn't really feel comfortable with being that vulnerable on the internet, even though, to be honest, I feel like that's a part of my purpose, is to be vulnerable on the internet. I just had to find a way to do it that I still feel like is respectful to myself and my own personal well-being. So I currently live with my mother. I live in her home, and I don't really have a relationship with either of my parents like that. I've always had a mother and father. I was mostly raised by my grandmother. Like, she taught me the most out of those three people. She watched me the most out of those three people. But my parents were in my life though. But I never really had a relationship with them. And now that I'm like living in my mother's house, it like reminds me of the feelings I used to have when I was probably, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. And just like more recently, I've just been feeling very like frantic about being here. Like, I was appreciating and being grateful for being here and being able to like do what I wanted to do and spend my money how I wanted to and be able to live rent free. But it's like now I'm at the point to where it's like being rent free doesn't matter. Like, I want to go back to having a rent now. Well, I don't really. My plans and stuff, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that in a different time period. But I'm ready to be back on my own again. I notice how much like hatred and resentment I have building for my mom, and I don't want to feel like that. It's like real like mental and spiritual warfare, because she's cold. She don't really, she cold-hearted, but she do things in underhanded ways, so it makes you feel like guilty for feelings of like anger or hatred or resentment towards her. Like, even by me living here, but my mother not really being like a nurturing type of mother, I feel a guilt that I don't like her because she's allowing me to live in her home. And this has been like a very interesting learning experience, I'll say, because I see the world so much differently than how I seen it when I was a teenager or when I was a child. So it's like I see my parents through different lenses. And it makes me realize, like, damn, like, you don't care. Like, I don't have any children, but the type of relationship that my parents have with me, I couldn't imagine having that type of relationship with my child, like an extension of me. I I couldn't fathom being okay with something like that, you know? And it's weird because being here and, oh my God, I did not want to cry. Like, what the hell? But I'm a crybaby, so it's like, I really shouldn't know I'm gonna cry. Being here, it's like, the comfortability of not having any real bills has kept me here way longer than it should have. Way longer than it should have. But now it's like, I feel like I feel comfortable talking about this because now it's like I'm ready. Now I'm like really actively taking the steps I need to take to get back in the world on my own for real, because I can't live my life like this. And the little passive aggression, it really breaks you down over time, you know? I feel like it also halts your progress and creates stagnation in your life, for real. Knowing that people don't want to see you succeed. I remember on my 25th birthday, I was like kind of emotional. I went to the beach that day. When I came back, you know, we end up talking about, you know, what I did for the day or something like that. And I just started crying because I just felt like this was not where I see myself being at 25. And it's like, I knew not to be vulnerable with her already. I already felt in my body, don't be vulnerable with her. You know, she's already shown me many times, don't do that type of thing. But I still chose to anyways. And that'd be one of the things too, is like, I feel like when it be your family and when it particularly be your parents, even more particularly your mother, it's like you keep wanting to give her benefits of doubts and things of that nature. So I just chose to be vulnerable with her anyways. And that lady had grimace on her face. She had grimace on her face. You know, she ain't hug me, she ain't rub a shoulder, she ain't tell me it was gonna be okay, she didn't give me no type of words of encouragement, no advice, nothing. You could just sense the happiness in my sadness. I think that was that was the moment for me, that was like the final moment where I was just like, I washed my hands with this relationship for real. So then from there, I pretty much have just been staying here with like little animosity, really, building for my mother day in and day out. And spiritually, I know that's not good, because it's like, you know, that's my mom, but like, we share DNA, you know? I am a part of her like she's a part of me. And I feel like any type of conflict you have with your mama, you have it with yourself. So like, that hurts my heart, you know? But I just feel like, is she a hard person for me to love? You know, neither one of my parents have ever really been happy for me in life. You know, when I used to do nails, and I worked for myself, and I was doing very well for myself. And, you know, they were not happy for me. And that really broke my heart. But it's like, now, I can't let them break my heart anymore. With my father, that was kind of easy. That was kind of easy to like, let that relationship be whatever. Like, not really care about it. But with my mother, it was harder. Especially like living with her. And of course, that's my mother, so like, I'm gonna always love her and keep some type of relationship with my mom. But you gotta know when it's like, it's a person that you supposed to just talk to like here and there every once in a while, you know. We're not really supposed to have that close of a bond, because if we were supposed to, we would have had it by now. Especially how hard I've tried. You know, I've tried so much in my life to like build that closeness with my parents, and they just don't. They don't really want that. I feel like also kind of like being here messes with my luck. I have more happiness and more opportunities when I'm not around my family. I've noticed how being in their energy really like harvests off of mine. And I don't really know why I wanted to talk about this, but it's just like I just did. Like, I don't know. I don't have nobody to talk to about it, about how I feel. So I think that's why. And I feel like there's, you know, other people that share my similar experience of literally having parents, but you have always felt like an orphan anyways. When I think about like when my parents die, when my father dies, I'm probably really not gonna feel nothing, to be honest with you. It's not gonna have no real effect on me like that. When my mother dies, I'll be sad because that's my mother and that's like a part of me. But it's not like I'm gonna be missing a relationship, because there's not one there anyways. I'm a very, you know, like, family is very important to me. But trying to parent my parents has only ever hurt me. It's never actually improved anything, to be honest. It's weird because like with my siblings act like my parents. So the jealousy my parents feel towards me, they feel it towards me too. So it's not even like they're like a safe space or they have a similar experience I do, because I've always been like the black sheep, like the stepchild. So as long as I'm the one that's not being liked, or they're okay with that. You know, I tried to like, when I came back here, when I moved back into my mother home, I really wanted to like build relationships with all of them, with my mother and my two brothers. That was important for me. But then I just started to realize, I started to see how it's like none of these people like you. Cried many times about that. I think I've had many depressions about that. It's like I'm in a place in my life where experiencing like real love is a priority for me. Class I went to one time, she was like a traveling instructor. She's very like social media famous. She's really talented. I forgot her name right now. I would tell you, but I forgot. But I went to one of her yoga classes. That was like one of the first environments that I really felt loved. And that turned the light bulb on in my head. And it made me see like how much my life was lacking love. I didn't realize it until experiencing an environment that felt like love, especially since it was coming from strangers. And then a year or two ago, I think maybe 2 years, I think like 2 years ago, maybe a year, I don't know. I took a trip to Costa Rica. I stayed there for a month. And I stayed like in an apartment on this lady's like property. She had like a couple of apartments on her property. I felt so much love from those strangers. And when I was there were certain moments where I just wasn't really, I was kind of like in a little mood and stuff, in a funk. And I could tell they was really concerned with me. They asked me what was wrong with me and things like that. I was not used to people asking me what was wrong with me when they seen that I was not happy. And this is normal things, right? This is a person seeing that you're unhappy and asking you what's wrong is a normal thing. But in my life, it was not normal. So like the fact that I was receiving that from strangers, it was like, I feel like I was just getting a taste of what like life could be like and what it should look like. So of course, like coming back here, it made coming back here even harder and more intolerable, because now I'm aware of how much this environment lacks love. But it's crazy because every day that you stay in a place longer that is not meant for you, it just suppresses you more and more, and it numbs you more and more. But like yesterday something happened that was like, it really upset me. And that's when I feel like the fire was already like brewing, right? But yesterday is when I was just like, okay, yes, like you have to be serious. You need to be serious about getting out of here for real. Like literally your livelihood stands in the wait, I forgot to say it, bro. Your livelihood is in the, what is it? I don't remember the saying. But this is important. You need to go. You need to leave ASAP and stop playing games, girl. So yesterday was like a shake me, wake up call type of thing. And for me, it's pretty much always been easy when it's been like other people. Like if I feel lack of love from like a friend or like a boyfriend or something like that, or I'm out of there. Like I'm out of there, like bye. But when it be your own like parents or something, it'd be harder. At least for me, it'd be harder. It wasn't really that much harder with my father, but with my mother, that one was the like spiritually getting over the lack of love that I received from my mom spiritually was like a hurdle for me. But it's like now I think I just feel ready, because I know that it's like I've done the best that I can do, and I've expressed my desire for like a mother-daughter type of closer relationship, building a relationship with her. I've expressed my desire for building a relationship with her many times, and we still don't have a good relationship. So now it's like I know that you don't want that, and I can accept it now. Also, I wasn't gonna add in this part, but I also just feel like I don't have no real relationships. I don't have no friendships like that. In my city, I don't feel supported. I don't really feel like my city fuck with me like that. They watch me, they notice the things I do, they be peeping. But it's like, the actual support is not there. And there's moments where it was there. But in those time periods where it was there, it's like I was lower quality versions of myself. You know, when I really started to like utilize my power for real, be a powerful person for real, I didn't feel that same support, that same backing from my city that I felt when I was smoking and drinking all the time, popping shit all the time. And I just feel like, damn, that's crazy. You know, I live in a small town, so it's like a real crab in a bucket mentality here. I don't think a lot of people see much of a future for themselves. You know, this is not the type of place where you're just gonna see a whole bunch of successful people for real. You know, you have to really, you gotta really want it. Especially not successful people that's like around my age group or black, you know. The successful people in this type of place usually like older white people and stuff, usually like older white males, things like that. So it's not really the type of environment that would keep an ambitious person wanting to go. The people that I know, they don't look at my ambition as like inspiring. They look at it like envy. And that hurts too, because I care about relationships and I want to, like, I'm a social person, like. But I ain't willing to pretend to have no friends though. You feel me? I ain't willing to pretend though, like, it ain't that serious. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't that serious. No, for real. So I was just like, this whole environment, like my living situation, my city, I'm over the whole thing. The whole thing is watched and it's played. And I'm so much bigger than this place. But I don't know. I think when I started YouTube, that really helped me. That really helped me because I was creating a safe space for myself to just express. And since doing YouTube, I've seen a lot of changes in myself, for sure. By just allowing myself to be seen. Not even only just YouTube. Because TikTok too, for a long time I avoided posting on TikTok. I really didn't care for TikTok, which I still don't really, I don't be on that app like consuming content, but I post on there. But for a while I like avoided TikTok altogether, and I think that was just like, you know, a fear of being seen. You know, I had a fear of posting content, but now I don't have that fear anymore. It feels like there's so much that I could do. And it's not even about the content or social media in general. It's just the fear of being seen. Because even if I was alive 40 years ago and I was going through the same experience, it would have just been with something else. that I was scared to be seen in, some other way I was scared to be seen that had nothing to do with social media. But spiritually, that's like a hurdle that I finally overcome after a long time, because that one right there took me a long time to overcome, for real. But yeah, a lot of chapters have like closed out for me, so it's good. It just feels like I'm entering like a fresh start, a new cycle. And not being afraid to welcome a new life. And that kind of sounded poetic, so this is actually where I'm going to end it at. Because I don't really have much more to say anyways.